Before starting back for my final year, I was pretty overwhelmed with all the new gear that we were introduced to. It's definitely more advanced than what I've used in previous years, but that's why the MA shoot was such a good opportunity for me, as I was second day seeing, and it allowed me to understand the roles and responsibilities of this role, as I've previously not done it before. It was a really good opportunity to work with people outside of my year and to work with a crew that has different levels of experience and knowledge. I learnt a lot about the gear on this shoot, and it allowed me to go into the year with more confidence and knowledge around the kit. Starting my workshops, I realised that I didn't have as much knowledge as what I wanted to around cameras, so I made notes about depth of field, ISO, aperture, shutter speed and shutter angles, as this is really important to know as a cinematography student. I wanted to gain more experience in lighting as well, as my knowledge prior to this wasn't as extensive as what I wanted it to be. In the workshops, we were given different scenarios to set up, and this was really good practice for me to put myself forward for each of the supporting roles, as it allowed me to understand what my responsibilities were and how I was to work with the rest of the crew in order to deliver a good outcome. During these workshops, I also passed my ladder safety training test as well as my electrical lighting safety test. As someone who has two different roles within the lighting department, it is important that I know how to safely set up the equipment and to keep everyone else safe on set. And as a gaffer, you need to know how to safely distribute the power around the set as well. Another setup that we were given was one for an Antarctic, and for this one I was the camera operator. I'm not that happy with the movement. It was very clunky, and it's all about getting used to the weight of the equipment and the different tripods heads. This is a lot more advanced gear, and this was very clear to me that I had to get practicing on it in order to become more confident and more comfortable around the gear. I also attended a grip workshop where I was shown how to use the Easy Rig, as this is a really helpful way to use the Alexa handheld. Here I am using the mini jib arm on the quad dolly. It was important that I was able to get used to the weight distribution on this as well, in order to give a smooth and fluid movement. The first couple attempts of using this setup, it was a little bit shaky on my behalf, but the more that I used the equipment, the easier it became, and I knew what to do and how to adjust myself in order to create a fluid movement. Other workshops included learning how to load film cameras. This was really cool because I've not actually used any of those before, and it was a really interesting way to see how a different format can be used for film. And then other lighting that we've been using as well. Like I said, I really wanted to get into my lighting this year, as I am a gaffer on one of my graduation films. Here I am rigging up some LED panels on a T-bar. This was just a bit of fun in one of the workshops, and I just wanted to see how powerful LED panels are, just battery operated, rather than just using mains. And also we have the Titan tubes and Provision. This was a really cool tour, and it allowed me to see just what type of lighting is out there and available for me to use. I also attended the special effects makeup workshop, where we had 20 minutes for each setup, working in a very small crew with different levels of expertise and knowledge to create the desired effects for the makeup that was shown to us. For this, I was camera operator throughout the day. As gaffer for one of my films, I wanted to test out some lighting that I had in mind for one of the club scenes in the film. Here we have a static as well as a handheld shot. This was just to differentiate between how the camera and the lighting all works together, and this is the result that I got. This leads me on to the promo shoot that we did for this graduation film. Again, I was the gaffer for this. I took some of the inspirational images from the director and the DP, and I created some test colour palettes for the lighting that worked alongside both of their visions as well. I made a very basic lighting plan, which isn't how I wanted it to go, and I've definitely improved on how I make these as well. this is the setup that we had in the end for it, and it's pretty close to what I had in mind. I'm really happy that I was able to make a plan and actually stick to it, and this is the finished result. I'm really happy with the colour palette, and the DP and the director are really happy with it. Here we have just some of the test footage for the promo video, just again showing off a colour contrast, mainly using the keynote and a dado as a street light here. During the directing workshops, I was first AC and camera operator for After the Storm. It was really cool to use the Easy Rig with the Alexa, as I was able to see just how I could use it handheld whilst having it all rigged up on my shoulder. And the results are from these shots here. Here's my lighting plans for badges. They're a lot more elaborate now, and there is a key so you're able to differentiate between what is what on the set. Here is a picture of a setup that we had previously tried out in one of the workshops, and here is behind the scenes of my lighting plan come to life. And these are the resultant images because of it. I'm really glad that I pushed myself into lighting this year, as I'm so glad that these have turned out the way that they have. I think that the contrast looks really nice and the colours really pop, and it works alongside what the brief was from me, from the director and the DP. I'm really excited for this film. Alongside this, I was also second AC on Unseen Bits, as well as a spark on The Girl Who Skated Too Hard. This is a lighting plan that I was given, and I had to set up the scene according to what is on here. And this is the setup that me and the gaffer created together. Final mention of the semester is obviously Camera Homage in Poland. This was a really fun week away with my peers and classmates, and I'm so glad that I got to do it. I got to test some new equipment as well as to see some amazing films. Before starting back this semester, I lacked confidence in my abilities, but through the success of the directing workshops and the practice that I've been having in my teaching workshops, I'm now confident that I'm able to put myself into my graduation films with the confidence, skills and ability that is needed from a cinematography student. Thank you for watching.